Hey guys, what's up? It's me again, Tom from TTT Tom's Tech Time. Today we want to take a closer look at the DJI Mavic Pro, but you should note one thing: you're watching one out of 3 videos in total about the Mavic Pro. You can of course find the links pointing at the other 2 episodes in the video description below or in the playlist, and of course you can find a link pointing at the entire video in the video description below as well. But right now, let's get into this. Enjoy the episode, stay tuned, fly safe. The tiny camera of the DJI Mavic Pro looks a bit like a toy, but it has massive specs aboard we now want to closely focus on. It features a 1 by 2.3 inch sensor, which is capable of taking photos at a maximum resolution of 4000 by 3000 at 12.35 megapixels, either as a JPEG or DNG RAW file, or both at a time. And talking about photos, you can now shoot high resolution photos in portrait mode as well. The maximum resolution for filming with the Mavic Pro is Cinema 4K at 24 frames per second, which is the cinema standard. At Ultra HD you can record with up to 30 frames per second, and the same number applies to 2.7K. When filming in Full HD, the Mavic Pro's camera can record footage with a maximum of 96 frames per second, and when filming in HD only, you get a maximum of 120 frames per second for creating slow-mos. The Mavic Pro's camera delivers 60 megabits per second. All frame rates and the bitrate are up to date, even though they were not improved. Within the DJI Go app, we have a big but easy to handle menu for further camera settings and picture styles for beginners and professionals both. If you want to find out more about the best camera settings for cinematic results, feel free to check out my tutorial on how to set up the Mavic Pro's camera. A link can be found in the video description below. The camera of the DJI Mavic Pro has big news aboard. It features a 28mm lens with a field of view of 78.8 degrees, which is awesome because it's really narrow, and I think it's the narrowest consumer drone camera that I have ever seen yet. Because one could basically say that the narrower the field of view of a drone camera, the more cinematic, the more like film does the finely recorded footage look like. And I really adore these cameras, and while DJI started to implement these kinds of cameras, and they even have zoom cameras for other drones right now on the market, we have so many competitors still fighting with fisheye and super wide angle lenses, and I think the 28mm camera is really a big step forward. The second big change is the focus. With the Mavic Pro, you can select what you want to be sharp and in focus with a touch on the monitor. It does not feature a fixed focus anymore. I understand that at first this will sound a little bit crazy to you and like a burden, but it offers so many new creative possibilities and moves the overall look of the lens towards more professional cameras. And it's really easy to use, but still it's a con that they didn't give us an infinity focus function for fast and fun flying. DJI applied a major change to the Mavic Pro's lens compared to the other drones made by DJI, and that is the fixed f-stop of 2.2, because most other DJI drones have an f-stop of 2.8. This finally means that the Mavic Pro's lens is the most powerful lens when it comes to nighttime filming, and that is even more powerful than the lenses of the well-known Phantom series. Talking about nighttime filming, the ISO can be set onto values between 100 for ideal shots until 3200 maximum under low light conditions. The fourth improvement is really awesome. DJI added a so-named tripod mode. It basically slows your Mavic Pro's movements down. What might not sound very much like a big step forward will really enhance your future film projects. From now on, you won't have to worry about too fast and fuzzy action camera-like movements anymore. Create shots that are as smooth as filmed with a big cinema dolly.
While filming with the Mavic Pro, I have experienced 3 more things that I want to share with you. The first one is actually a big pro, and that is that due to the narrower field of view and due to the short length of the propellers, they won't ever show up in your footage. You can fly fast forward, and there will be no more disturbing zooming in post-production just to avoid having them show up in the upper segment of the image. So this is actually pretty cool. And the next one is a con, and that is that due to the small size of the Mavic Pro, of course it is less stable in air than, for example, the bigger brother, the DJI Phantom 4 or the Inspire even. And if you're flying too fast, sometimes we have like what I call micro shake. I'll just take a look at some examples. And that happens maybe during my testing, maybe every 20th shot I had one micro shake during filming. The third thing that I experienced is again something negative, but that is nothing specific for the Mavic. That is like a drone problem, like most drones have that problem, and that is that once the propellers are spinning and you are flying in a certain angle to the sun, we have like the shadows of the spinning propellers showing off in the footage. That looks kind of disturbing. Just take a look at some examples again. And I would just hope that DJI at some point invents or starts selling like a small lens cap or something that we can just attach to the lens that would already fix the problem. And in case that doesn't work, I think we have to live with that problem because that doesn't appear very often. But I still wanted to mention it.
Let's take a look at some test footage again, this time ungraded and untouched. Everything is sharp as it should be, if we don't forget to focus manually, of course. Otherwise, it might be unsharp. When taking a closer look at one of the edges, which usually are the weak spots of lenses, we can see that the image looks a little less sharper, but that loss of quality is completely normal. I must say that the DJI Mavic Pro creates footage that is just as sharp as the footage of other DJI consumer drones. Sometimes other drone footage might look a bit sharper, but that is due to digital sharpening that you can apply right within the Go app or on the computer, which I don't recommend though, as an over-sharpened image does not really give us a filmic feeling. Over-sharpened images to me look like action cameras rather than big broadcasting systems.
2 final words on the camera of the DJI Mavic Pro. The first one is the con, and that is actually that this plastic cap, this bubble, is really not well made. They should redesign that and maybe even throw out a new one that just fits and sits right on the camera so it doesn't cause any glares or flares to be within the recorded footage. That would be really nice because having the protection is something really cool. But finally, I wanted to say that I even like the style of this camera better than the style, for example, of the very famous DJI Phantom 4 due to the narrower look and due to the fact that we can now manually focus, even though people will have to get used to that, and the aperture is better. I think I really like this tiny small camera. I mean, it's smaller than my eye, or the same size, something like that. Yay! We made it until the end of this episode, but you shouldn't forget that there are 2 more episodes to watch. You find the video links down there in the description below. But if you already fell in love with the Mavic Pro, you of course find product links pointing at it in the video description below as well, and the hottest Mavic Pro deals on tomstecktime.com/deals. Check it out right now. This was Tom from TTT Tom's Tech Time. Now you should continue to watch the other videos. Stay tuned, fly safe.
Welcome to the all-new Tom's Tech Time website. Let me show you around. Dozens of how-to videos, reviews, and comparisons are waiting for you. All categorized, all free, all ready to watch. At tomstecktime.com, you're only 1 click away from our highly viewed segment, The Drone Film School. There you can find video lessons, buyer's guides, and many filmmaking templates. Don't own a drone yet? Click the Deals page and find the hottest offers on the web. And if you already have a drone, enhance its capabilities with the most highly recommended accessories for filmmaking, safety, and a better flying experience. tomstecktime.com, teaching the world how to fly drones.